Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Portugal and what current changes have happened and sort of where we're going and how we've got there. Guys, at any point in time, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. There's a Q&A section or even a chat section in the toolbars if you want to be able to use that. All right, let's get going. So today we're going to discuss who Holborn is, who I am, how we can assist you, residency by investment, residency versus citizenship, the Golden Visa itself, what benefits it is, how it can be utilized, what processes, all that will be covered. And then again, in the end of the period, we will cover what investments are available and any Q&A sort of questions that you're looking for. Now, Holborn Assets is a company that has been around since 1998. We are a financial services company that has a division called Holborn Pass. That's where I fit in. We have multiple jurisdictions all around the globe. I think we're up to about 22 offices worldwide with an office on every continent. As a business, we offer our clients an end-to-end solution. So we do everything from, as they say, A to Z, which covers document collection, administration, visas, you name it, we do it. At no point in time are you ever left alone. We've put everything out from an A to a U, but theoretically, we do everything. All right. What is citizenship? Citizenship and residency has been around for many, many years, and almost every country in the world offers this type of solution. There's multiple ways of doing it, either through real estate, donation, investments, funds, bonds, all those different type of things. They are able to help you in your different jurisdictions to obtain your residency or citizenship. Now, the industry itself has grown quite substantially. If we've looked at it since the beginning, and I think the first program that was started was in 1984, which was in kits. Since then to now, it's become a multi-billion dollar industry, and more solutions are coming to the market, which is obviously very good for our clients. Residency allows you as an individual to obtain the same rights as any other citizen within that specific jurisdiction. You just cannot vote, run for office. Whereas citizenship, it gives you a lot more sort of freedom. It gives you protection from the government, basically. It allows you to live, vote, and in places like the EU, it gives you the additional benefit that you can live, work, settle anywhere within the EU countries as long as you have an EU passport, which is one of the things we're going to be talking about today. Now, Holborn itself offers multiple jurisdictions that we are able to help our clients with. Now, as I said to you, almost every country in the world, barring Africa, has some sort of offering that they do bring to market. What Holborn have done is we've narrowed those down to about 18. We've taken probably the most popular routes within all jurisdictions, and we're offering those to our clients. It doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't able to assist with other ones. These are just your main jurisdictions that are currently available. New ones that have come to the market that we're currently offering are somewhere like the UAE, the Dubai Golden Visa, are becoming more and more popular. That is a residency. It's a 10-year ongoing residency as long as you have your property. Spain is becoming more popular as well. So Spain is a residency with a pathway to citizenship. You are looking at a 500,000 euro investment into a property. Can be commercial, can be residential. And for that investment, it gives you residency. But after 10 years of living within Portugal, it does lead to citizenship. Other alternatives that are coming up in other webinars coming forward soon is the USA. We have two programs there. One is an EB5, one is the EB3. Soon we'll be releasing the marketing material so that you are able to sign up for those webinars. They start anything from $50,000 all the way up to $800,000 investments. But today we're going to be talking about Portugal. Portugal's based within the EU. EU currently has 27 different member states. So once you have a passport for one, effectively you have 27 different opportunities to live. You are able to retire, work, and study within these countries, which is obviously very beneficial. That covers all that. And it is open for business. So you are able to open up existing businesses, new businesses within the countries, and obviously that being from a location point of view, very central to other countries of trade. Does majority of these give you visa-free travel? I would say anything within the EU, 185 would. Now, Portugal, they give you 188. But why else Portugal? Now, Portugal has a number of different things. It is the most welcoming country to expats in the world, as per Internations. It is the third most peaceful country in the world. So obviously those countries that are going through other experiences, it's a nice welcome there. Best retirement destination. So they have a number of different schemes within Portugal that is able to assist. And I would chat to your local advisor and let them explain a little bit more of how it can be assisted. Now, unfortunately, the 10-year non-habitual tax regime has stopped. Those that were able to get in a little bit earlier, there is talk about it coming back, but at the moment it has stopped. And it has got the 12th best public healthcare system in the world. Now, to take advantage of the healthcare, unfortunately, you are going to need to be a resident or a citizen within the country paying towards their social systems first. Initially, you will have a private healthcare, which will cover everything else. And 16th best education system in the world. Now, bearing in mind, it is a Portuguese-speaking country, so important to understand that going forward, they do have international schools as well. So if English is a language that you want to be able to be taught in, they do have international schools, and these schools range with syllabus between the UK syllabus and the US syllabus. So all options are available there. Now, when we're looking at places like Portugal, most of our investments are done within 3 jurisdictions. The first one, Lisbon, obviously because it is your capital center, financial center of Lisbon. Your next one is Porto, your second largest state, second largest city. And we find a lot of clients veer towards the relaxation of Porto. It's a little bit more settled, good wine, good food. And then you have the Algarve. Now, the Algarve is more the Mediterranean type of feel. It offers clients 320 days of sun. It is a coastal resort, and that's where we find most expats are settling. Now, the Golden Visa is what we're going to be talking about today. The Golden Visa started in 2012. Initially, it was a small program. In 2012, we had 2 applications for the whole program. Up until now, we've probably got about 35. It was 27, but we've got about 35,000 people that have gone through this process, which has obviously made it a lot more popular. And because of that, we've had some pros, we've had some cons, but it is generally progressing as a country and as an opportunity for clients. First citizenship, benefit of that, it was started in 2018. What that means for you is we now have a proof of path. Clients have got their passports, and it is a successful program. So clients are now a little bit more settled that once they do start the program, it does lead to citizenship. Other things that you need to know about this is we have had a few changes within the Golden Visa, and that's what I said, it has progressed quite dramatically. Initially, it used to be a 6-year program, 6 years until citizenship. What they've done now is they have reduced that down to 5-year program. It's obviously a benefit to the client. Initially, we were able to buy real estate anywhere within Portugal at different price levels. That was then changed in 2021 to include more commercial structures. So they reduced your residential structures and replaced it with commercial structures. It was then again changed in 2022. And as of last year, October, we have now got the new laws that are coming into place. These laws reiterate that unfortunately no more real estate is available, but they have provided alternatives, and we'll go a little bit deeper into what those alternatives are. In addition to that, they have replaced the SEF, which was the governing body that was managing and processing all applications. It is now AIMA, AIMA. And what we've already seen is this replacement has already sped up a lot of things. So a lot of our processes, a lot of the timelines have decreased, which is quite nice. And they've also made a lot more contribution towards electronic options. So, for instance, you no longer need to go over to Portugal to be able to do your renewals. So all of that now doesn't have to be done in person. It can be done online. And a lot of your application process is now done electronically as opposed to individually. There are still points where you will need to be there in person, but in general, it is done more remotely. Now, the process itself is fairly straightforward. As I said to you in the beginning, we are an A to Z solution. Myself, my team, your advisor, will be with you the entire way. And at any point that we can, we'll make life as easy as possible for you. So initially, we will sign a legal package. This will be a package between yourselves and Holborn, and we'll put everything discussed prior into black and white. Once signed, we'll be able to obtain tax numbers, or what they call NIF numbers. That will then lead us to open up your bank account. The bank account has to be a Portuguese domiciled bank account. So we'll be the main applicant, will be able to open that. Once that is opened, all your documents will be signed with the lawyers. We'll assign lawyers to be able to process everything for you in regards to your application, properties, legal contracts. All that will be done through those specific attorneys. And we will then be able to submit. There are certain documents that we will need from you, things like birth certificates, marriage certificates, and lease clearances. A lot of the time you may hear new things such as apostille. There are legal requirements from an international point of view where documents that from specific countries will need to be legalized. What that means is countries that are associated with Hague Conference will be what they call apostille. So it's generally from your local international offices. And those that fall outside of the Hague Agreement, they'll need to be attested. So again, our ladies will be with you to assist you on how and where to do all that. Once that's done, we'll get your pre-approval. Now, your pre-approval is approval in principle and allows for us to set up your biometric appointment. This, as I said to you earlier, is the only time we need you to physically be within Portugal. So you and the entire family will fly over to Portugal. The lawyers will be with you at that appointment. You'll do fingerprints, photographs, all the biometric requirements, and they will again submit your application. Now, one of the changes that has happened of recent, and this is fairly recent in the last couple of months, is prior to January of this year, clients had to wait for their application to be fully processed and approved before their 5 years start. So to be able to obtain citizenship, you need to wait 5 years within the program. Prior, as I said to you, it used to start from the date that you received your residency. Now, it starts from the date that your application is submitted. So a lot of that time now gets taken up. Benefit of that is time is now a 5-year program as opposed to a 5-year plus, depending on how long the process takes. Once your cards are approved and received, you'll pay your final costs, and you'll be able to utilize your card, allowing you to live, work, settle within Portugal, but at the same time be able to travel Schengen visa-free to all Schengen countries. So that allows you a 90-day within a 180-day period that you can stay within the Schengen. Right? Now, a lot of our clients want to be able to do this because they want to obtain their passports. So the 5 years of residency is very, very nice. You can live there, work there, and travel. But ultimately, clients want to be able to have the passport. And there's many different reasons for that. But to be able to obtain it, you need to have your application there for at least a minimum of 5 years. Once that's done, you are able to submit and apply for citizenship. But along with that, you will need to at least visit the country. Now, it's an average of 5 weeks over 5 years. But in this situation, to be able to renew your application, it is 14 days every 2 years. So as long as every 2 years you are spending 14 days within the country, again, it leads to citizenship. And then lastly, we have the A2 language test that needs to be passed. A2 language test is the most basic level of adult testing within the EU. And most of our clients are taking 6 to 7 months to be able to get to the right level to be able to pass. So it's very beneficial. Also, you don't have to wait the 5 years to be able to write it. You can at any point in time during that 5-year period, write the exam, get it behind you, and again, process for citizenship. Now, currently the Portuguese passport is the 4th best passport in the world. It's about 187 to 188 countries visa-free worldwide. Also, main benefit of that, it allows you to live, work anywhere within the EU. So all 27 countries, member states become an opportunity for you to live, or your children to be able to study or live as well. It is a multi-generational application. Anyone above the age of 18 can apply as the main member. When we're looking at children, children generally have to be seen as dependent on the main applicant or spouse. And the way that we prove that is we need them to be enrolled in full-time study. And that can be anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be within Portugal. That will be able to allow them to apply. In addition to that, parents can be added to the application of the main applicant or spouse. If they are below the age of 65, we do need to prove some sort of financial dependency. If they are above the age of 65, dependency is automatic, so it's assumed. So just things to bear in mind once you're applying. So it is a 3-generational application, and a lot of our clients have taken that advantage. Now, as I said to you, things have changed since October. So currently, the way of obtaining residency of the Portuguese Golden Visa, we've got 5 different routes. The first route is to open up a business and to create 10 jobs. Secondary is 500,000 to research activities. Now that is a donation, so to bear that in mind. Well, sorry, an investment. The donation comes in at 250,000 to the arts. Right. Both of those, if we look at what's happened over the years, both of those haven't been utilized a lot. The main 2 that we're currently seeing is 1 and 4. 4 is the creation of a capital fund and the transfer of 500,000 euros. Generally, those that have seen it, it's like a unit trust type of fund. And then the final amount is a 500,000 into a company. So lots of different ways of doing it. And we generally use 2 of them, the creation of either a company and jobs or the fund option, the capital investment fund. Now, when we're looking at those 2 options, we use them as a vehicle. So whichever opportunity we take benefit of, we either use a venture capital fund as a housing tool, or we use the company creation as a housing tool. The investments or the asset generating properties fall outside. So it's always going to be 2 separate transactions. Transaction number 1, a lot of our clients prefer the venture capital route. And the reason for that is a lot of these funds are registered and they are monitored and maintained by the government. So a lot of people feel comfortable with those type of funds. And With that, most of our clients have processed doing that. Now, that fund is a housing vehicle. It holds your 500,000 euro. The secondary transaction will be a property. One of our most popular properties is Royal Obidos. Now, Royal Obidos is about 45 minutes outside of Lisbon, about 5 minutes away from Nazaré, which is the world's largest waves, and offers our clients a unique experience. The unit itself is assigned by the developer and sits underneath your investment as security. The investment offers you a 3.35% return, 6 years paid up front. The benefit of that is we are able to use that upfront return to reduce your capital outlay. So instead of spending 500,000 of your capital to invest, we now only have to invest 400,000 from the capital, or 399. Other benefits of this include full buyback agreement. So your 500,000 that you've initially put within the shares, the venture capital trust, that is now 100% buyback. So what that means is at the end of the 5-year process, once you've obtained your citizenship, they will pay you back the full 500,000 euro. You do, however, have an alternative. As I said to you, this property is based as a security and is assigned. You do have the benefit at the end of the 5 years, or whenever you've obtained your citizenship, that you are able to use your initial 500,000 from your share portfolio and purchase your property into your name. The only additional cost that you will need to take into account is there are some transfer fees, what they call IMT tax, as well as stamp duty, roughly about 32,000 euro. Now, this property will be completed in Q4 2025. We've already completed phase 1 and phase 2, and our clients absolutely love it. Every morning you wake up, you have a sea view view. So you look out over the golf course to the sea. You have multiple restaurants, coffee shops, bar facilities, multiple pools, indoor and outdoor, as well as gym facilities and spas. Those of you that are golfers, last year's European Open was played here, and it was designed by Sevi Ballesteros prior to him passing. And you'd be able to play basically every day, right? Green fees, I think, are about 41 euro off the top of my head. Now, this property, you are able to use 6 weeks per year, all right? 3 weeks during peak season, 3 weeks during off-peak season. So multiple different opportunities for you. And to bear in mind, the only thing you need to understand is we are limited with space. Currently have 32 apartments available. They are going quite quickly. I think we've just done 5 this week. So bear that in mind and speak to your advisor to be able to book one. The other option, or before we get to the other option, let me show you some of the views, some of the utilities that are available. As you can see, these are the apartments with the view of the golf course and the sea. Just in front of you will be the golf clubhouse. So again, bar facilities, restaurants, and so forth. Behind your apartment, you have a river closing you off. So you are able to do water sports within the river, as well as a 5-star hotel. This 5-star hotel is well recognized and has an amazing spa for those of you who want to relax. The final sort of destination that we do have is Villa Magna. It's a 5-star accommodation. We are offering 2 different options. One is a studio, one is a 1 bed, 346 to 355, depending on size. For the studio, 437 to 468. For the 1 bed, again, depending on size. But the amazing option here is normally we would charge a 20,000 euro setup. So this is the company structure setup. And for the next couple of weeks, we are waiving that. So you do get the benefit of a discount of a minimum of 20,000. You can utilize this option for 1 week per year. And the estimated growth they are expecting, I think, is about 20%, 25% growth on this. So a good long-term investment option. So for those clients wanting to be able to take advantage, this again is a very good route. Now, this is Again, both of them fall within the hospitality investment route. One is a company share structure, one is a venture capital structure, but whichever one you prefer, we can alternate. Now, pretty much on cue, quick half an hour. Now, a lot of this information that I'm giving you is quite a lot. What I would recommend doing is setting up some time with your advisor, letting them go through more on an individual basis, because we've had to quite broadly speak about all the options. We can set up time, speak more specific about your family size, costs, everything like that, and we will be able to help you out there. I think let's start off with some questions. Again, those of you that have questions, please don't hesitate to put it within the Q&A or the chat boxes, and I'll be happy to help out. First question is about the 500,000. Must be done in bulk. So the 500,000 or the total cost for the investment is a once-off cost. Now, we are able to assist with that 500,000, where instead of you paying the full 500,000, we are able to get your returns paid up front, which that means then we can reduce your 500,000 down to 399, give you the 101,000, which you are then able to add back. So if that's an easier way of doing it, yes, we are able to do it, but it's always better to put the 500,000 in and receive it the following as a return, purely on a time basis. It does take us a little bit longer to be able to process monies coming to and from. So a lot of the times clients prefer just to pay the 500 and receive the 101,000, but in certain circumstances, we are able to pay the 101,000 up front. Right. Generally, all our payments are split into 3 separate payments. Initially, you've got your legal fees. Secondly, you've got your property or your investment amount. And thirdly, we have your card fees. All right. So those are generally there. Next question we have. Do children need to always be studying for the next 5 years? Pretty much. So while a child is a dependent, as long as we are going through your renewal process, at each point of renewal, that child will still need to be dependent on you. Dependency means that they are enrolled in full-time study for the entire 5-year process, or as long as you are a resident. Right? Where is the property in conjunction with Porto? Okay, so the property itself, you're looking at probably about a 2.5-hour drive from Obidos to Porto. But yeah, I would say it's closer to Lisbon, which is your main city airport anyway. Can I stay over 180 days in a Schengen country using the Golden Visa if I don't have citizenship and only maintain a residency? So you can only stay 180 days within Portugal. So you've got unlimited amount of stay within Portugal. However, within the Schengen, you are limited to your 90 days within a 180-day period. I know traveling within the Schengen, there's no borders, essentially. So it is very difficult to track that. But officially, the 90 in a 180-day period is your allowance. Do I get to share profit or interest from the initial investment? So your initial investment, we're paying you 3.35% on the relative side, 6 years paid up front. So you do get to earn a return. But as far as on the investment side, so your venture capital fund, no, you won't be able to share profit on that. It's structured in a way that your profit is received from the property itself. Are there any major costs on renewals? So with regards to this, your renewals are always going to be 50% of your initial card fees as well as your application fees. So you're looking at however many people are within the family, 50% of that will need to be paid every 2 years. Now, on average, bearing in mind it has now moved, we're looking at 1 to 2 renewals, depending on how long it takes for your initial approval. But during that 1 to 2 years, every 2 years, you will have to pay 50% of your original card fees. Right? Knowing that it is still has a link to real estate, how sure is it that investment will be eligible for the Golden Visa? So in this situation, there is no link whatsoever. Qualifying criteria is the fact that you have a venture capital. That venture capital functions in its own format and qualifies for the Golden Visa. The property, however, yes, real estate is a secondary transaction. So it does not form part of your initial transaction to qualify for the Golden Visa. It forms a secondary transaction, which you obtain benefit from. So at no point are they ever linked. So that we're very, very confident that gets processed that way. You are correct that there is not allowed a link, but in this format, we can say there's a distance, so we don't have to worry about that structure. I think that's about it, guys. If you've got any more questions, please put it down. Otherwise, thank you very much for attending.